Two guys.
Mobb Deep.
Outkast?
Can't be Eric B.
All
and
you get is a
Rakim.
box of Newports and Puma
EPMD.
sweats. That was a good one.
No.
All right, everybody guess. Okay, we're gonna run it. We're doing another one.
My guess was Outkast.
One,
Outkast is
Rakim and
East Coast.
Rakim.
one guy has the name of the group shaved into the back of his head.
Is he a white guy?
How many people's in Naughty by Nature?
You talking about third? You talking about third base?
Very good.
Oh,
It was on the gas face. That's what Pete Nice says.
Yeah,
All you get is a
well-
pack of Newports and Puma sweats.
I'll give you.
Every time I see a pack of Newports, I think of that line.
I give you another story. Everyone thought Hammer was soft.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you got Messy Marv. He's like, hey, don't get the Hammer pants fucked up. Hammer's from Oakland. Hammer will fuck you up.
honestly,
So-
if there's people that think Hammer is soft, still
Oh, did you
They're useless.
hear what he was going to do to
Red
search
Man.
from? Did you hear what he's going to do to search from third base?
Oh yeah.
We had like
Well,
100
motherfuckers
dudes.
from Oakland.
Search. What does Search say? He said something about the Hammer turn your mother out. The Hammer, because Hammer turned the mother. He's like, yeah, something turn your mother out. And Hammer was like, yeah. And MC Search didn't think nothing of it, and he gets to Oakland, and Hammer had contract on his fucking head.
people need to
smoke his
respect
ass.
the aspect of when people say like you don't get a pass here. When they could say like you're not welcome in my city.
He's from East
That's
Oakland.
huge.
Short's like, man, he's from East Oakland. He ain't playing around.
Yeah.
Like even with like 40, people thought 40 was a joke, and they're like, how did Biggie get to Sacramento, and why was he in this warehouse, and why is he about to be smoked? And they're like, yeah, I didn't like what you were saying about my man E40, and he's like, whoa, you need to get this dude on the phone. And apparently, like Puff and Big got 40 on the phone and said they meant no disrespect. So 40 said, hey, man, I'm going to send some of my dudes that he trusted to follow you to your hotel room till you get out of town because I don't know what these knuckleheads are going to do. So he, in turn, paid to have Biggie come out there to smoke his ass and then squashed it and watched over him so no one else killed him so he could get back to New York.
Oh, shit.
Did you never heard that story?
I never knew about that.
Look it up. They're like, oh, yeah, 40, he owns chicken stores and this. Like, man, you can think 40's a punk. You can think fucking Hammer's a punk. I don't know about all that. Look up the E40 Biggie Smalls beef. It's documented.
Did you do any of those E40 shows ever?
No.
I rap with E40 like
Yeah.
3 times.
That's fucking dope.
I did do the Too Short
I'm
show.
old.
He was an asshole.
Did you do the fairgrounds? The fairgrounds?
Fairgrounds show.
Yep.
We did that.
That
We
was one of my
did
favorite
we
shows
did the
ever.
Paradise down in the Tri-Cities. That place was dope.
I did Paradise with Paradise with Looney Coleon and Too Short, and then we came back to Spokane. Short was a dick the whole time. Lunatic Looney Coleon was cool.
Oh, he's
cool.
he's
motherfucker.
a Spokenite,
Right?
much.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
getting on.
out here.
He's getting on stage with us and shit. Like he was part of our show, and I'm like, God damn, let me do
40
cool
ones with
shit.
CJ too, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Didn't you do the E40 ones with CJ too?
I don't
think you did, bro.
think I did.
It doesn't get much cooler than Looney.
If
though.
I did,
got
I
it.
did. If I did, I
when
didn't
I met
meet
him, the homie introduced us, and I felt like Looney was happy to meet me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like, that's the type of dude he was.
I saw him once, just real. It was real brief. He was like, I think he was with Cordell, and like I bumped into him real fast. No, at Perfectors, he came through Perfectors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I met him at the booth,
yeah,
at the Insiders booth.
yeah. I might have seen him there too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
he
seen him at
he one of the coolest. I don't know if we consider him an industry dude or just kind of like a West Coast pioneer, but I don't know. He's one of the coolest. Him and Devin the dude was super fucking.
Devin
is
puts on
always
a
cool.
good show too.
Always showed love.
Can I hit us with a twist?
Let's get it.
Twist it up.
I would love to table this.
What'd you say? Tablets.
Table this. Sorry, because I'm like kind of like off the top.
What you got?
Our most memorable favorite thing that we gained from 2020, and the one thing we would love to forget of 2020.
Oh shit.
Because this is our first year back, or first episode back. Where should we start?
I'll start with the shit I'd like to forget, but it's just gonna be stuck with us until it's done with. It's this whole the pandemic shit. People losing their businesses. People losing their minds. People being less than civilized to other people over fucking petty shit. And fucking, hey, where's your fucking mask? You ain't got your mask. You don't care about me. I hope you die. I care about people. What the? Pick your fucking poison, motherfucker. They're like, I care about people and my grandma might die. You don't have a mask. I hope you die of cancer, you cunt. Like, people are fucking rude and obscene, and they're not kind to people. And has it got worse? Probably. But I thought people were starting to be more kind to other people, and this shit happened. It reared the ugliness of a lot of people. A lot of shit reared ugliness from other people, from politics, family disowning family over that kind of shit. It just got ugly. That shit I could forget. The shit I liked, man, there's a lot of shit I like, man. I caught
Hell
the.
yeah. It wasn't that bad of a year.
Oh, we doing
was
that?
it?
We're not doing the shit we like? Okay.
Just one. No. Pick one.
Just doing one
Oh,
thing.
okay.
One thing you like.
One thing I like, fishing. I caught the biggest fish I ever caught in my life this last year.
That's what's up.
Word.
RP.
Oh, I'm up. We're passing to the right, huh? Well, I want to kind of touch all the bases for shit we hated, but definitely the drama. A lot of drama, just bullshit. I'm about to distance myself from social media. Period.
What about $1 million mullets?
That shit. $1 million mullet is the jam. If you haven't heard it, you better go listen to that shit. But yeah, man, I don't know. What's the question?
Something you'd rather forget from 2020 and something you don't want to forget.
Something I don't want to forget. Yo, just I don't know. It's weird because I spent like a lot of the first half of the year doing a lot of like thinking, a lot of philosophical thoughts. I just don't want to stop that, I suppose. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the second half of the year I kind of lost touch with the higher self. You guys pouring this fucking.
Does it make you gotta pee?
Gotta take a big pee.
I do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, just work on yourself. Me, period. Work on myself. Keep doing better. I feel like
That sounds like a goal. I'm talking about what you want to forget.
I did talk about what I want.
I know you got something, King.
Because people are. It was just.
He's got
it
so
was a
much
lot of
going on
drama.
because he smokes so much weed, but it's
I
slow
know.
to get it out because he's like Snoop Dogg.
Well, that's
don't
one of my
smoke that
favorite.
much.
This show is
Yeah.
great because this is the reality of it. They get to see us come here all sober and drink and smoke and get in touch with our shit, and we don't fucking cut shit out. That's
Then
the
we leave at
beauty
the
of
end.
it.
Hi, how are you doing today?
But as our feelings come out, we're a little more intoxicated. That's why I like to ask these questions later, and it's huge. Can you want me to put it on you?
I would like to forget about all of the hours and days that I spent doing nothing. You know what I mean? Because that shit sucked. It's depressing and builds anxiety and stress. And the things that I have, the time that I spent doing shit and making shit happen, I got to complete a lot of projects and start a lot of projects with a lot of friends that I wouldn't have met if I didn't move up here. So that's my answer to that question.
Hey, did we do our first skit in 2020 or 2021?
I think it was 2021, bro. Actually, I don't really know.
Shout out to skits.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like on that line because it was in the medium of our break from the podcast.
It was on Friday. It was on the 1st.
That was,
Oh, okay.
It was on the first.
Oh shit!
It wasn't on the
On New
first.
Year's Day,
Nah,
It was.
it wasn't on New Year's Day.
It was.
we weren't really doing shit. New
Oh,
Year's
like
Day.
later on, like not
In the evening.
night. Because
Yeah.
I was fucked up. I was
Well,
like-
New Year's Eve.
I was
and then New Year's
exploding,
Day.
lighting fireworks, and my neighbors were
Yeah, that
calling
was
the
New Year's Eve.
police. Fuck the police.
Yeah, we kicked off the year nice. What
Hell
about
yeah.
you, Genesis?
That's what's up.
For me, what I want to forget is similar to what Anwar was talking about in context of just division, people breaking up over things, over the political divide. Huge. I've seen it. It's happened to me. A friend of mine grew up on the East Side. I mean, he disowned me on Facebook, like in front. I mean, and other people had seen that, you know, over Trump, you know, and just really felt like I didn't like white people. Like, you just don't like white people. It's like, whoa, like that's not even like. And this dude knows me, you know. I love him, and so that's just already off top. That's a problem. So when you get into those type of territories in whatever situation you're in, political specifically now, you know what I mean? But when you get into that deep of a divide where there's just a lack of, where there's no ownership, where there's no family anymore, that's what I want to forget. What I want to remember is being in Moses Lake on a blow up mattress because I couldn't find anything to float on. We couldn't find anything, so we got a queen size blow up mattress, and made it happen. And everybody saw us. We were flaving out, you know, and just relaxing and just enjoying ourselves. You know what I mean? And just being in a peaceful place. So yeah, just being in peaceful places in general. That's what I want to remember. All the peaceful places.
1,000%.
Hey, I feel like what you're going on, if your leader or the person you're following clouds your judgment so much that you stop talking to people or hanging around people because of your conviction being so strong, I feel like you're following a cult.
Yeah. You know, ultimately, anybody who just believes every word somebody says, no matter what it is, like that's like a cult following, right?
I don't believe either of the parties. That's why I'm like, hey,
Fuck the party.
can we get more options?
Yeah.
Hey, but side note, he brought up Moses Lake. You know, the first time I got paid to do a show, Moses Lake. He put it on.
Is Moses Lake where that?
Yeah, that was a good show.
Hell yeah.
What was that
Is
place?
that where the sandbar is? Moses
remember
Lake.
Wasn't it the sandbar where
Nah,
the show was?
It was at Michael's.
Yo, so
did
I think
we
the
do
sandbar is
sandbar?
in Moses Lake. Though.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Gabe Adame too. Rest in peace.
it was
R.I.P.
it was a show specifically to showcase Unique. Jen brought us out. It's the first time that
What is Nick doing?
I don't know.
Still rapping?
that we didn't have to pay for lodging. I mean, the lodging wasn't great, but it was taken care of. I think I slept in the same room as Unique Nick, but we didn't sleep in the car. And
My daughter, I'm sorry. My daughter called me. It's 1:00, so I got.
okay,
Sorry.
Do your thing, bro.
Good, bro.
Are you okay, sweetheart? You good?
Keep going.
I'm doing a
yeah.
podcast.
So the first show I got paid for. I mean, I've had shows where people are like, you can come out and we'll get you a room and we'll give you some drinks. You know, made some money. It wasn't fucking great money, but it was early on. I think I was rapping when I was a kid, but when I first, recorded in the studio was the 2000s, and I think the time when we went out to Moses Lake, it was probably 2002 or something. And it was called Michael's.
Yeah, I never forget it. Every time I go there, I think about those.
And it's right on the lake. Because I remember there's like this balcony you can walk out. I'm like, man, this is dope. But I'm like,
That makes sense because I don't remember a lake being by a sandbar.
It's not the sandbar, man. No,
But is the sandbar in Moses Lake?
I don't. It doesn't ring a bell because there's another big bar next to Michael's, but Michael's was a fine restaurant.
Was that
too.
Cheto?
The sandbar might be on the other side of the bridge, so that it might be. So,
He's the sandbar dude. Cheto.
But the place we went to was Michael's.
I just remember sandbar because we did a show together there with Janelle.
I don't even remember that.
I wouldn't go out of town without you.
Who drove?
I didn't have a license, bro. You always drove.
I didn't drive because I remember when we went to the Tri-Cities when Homeboy said, I got the banger in the car. And I was
You
like,
drove.
I got the banger. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Rochelle drove us.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh damn, man! I underestimated
Because-
the power of that.
So we had this ride from this girl.
We were both
and
passengers.
he was drinking the whole way there, and dudes were
Oh,
talking about
shit.
they had pistols and shit. And we were from out of town, and we're like, man, we've got pistols.
Rochelle
Like,
drove us there
Yeah.
and back.
yeah, we got pistols in the car too. So we're going up. What's the inner 395 on the way from the Tri Cities to get to I-90 to get home, and you look up, dude, and it's summer, so and there's no lights on the 395, and I'm like, dude, you got to pull over.
Don't
'cause-
look me in my eyes. I was there with you. I remember.
Dude, you gotta pull over. We gotta look at this because
I remember those moments.
because
yeah.
you could see like fucking galaxies and shit. And I'm
Why
like,
is my memory tells me we
That's
were
dope as
in
fuck.
your fucking Cadillac?
what, my lowrider Cadillac? No, we didn't drive that motherfucker
No,
that far.
fuck. Okay,
Nah, we might have drove my Lincoln to Moses Lake though,
okay.
but we got a ride to the Tri Cities.
Word.
And,
Makes
and
sense.
shout out to Wild Card because he was the only outsider from there, and these dudes are
damn
talking
Paul.
shit, and he picked up. He's like, oh shit.
Grabbed a chair.
He got the chair. He's ready to chuck it at him. Because like the dudes from the Tri Cities was our people, but there's some dudes that
I'll
they
never
kind of
forget that moment.
there are some dudes they kind of beef with in their circle in the Tri Cities, and I'm like, we're from out of town, man. We'll fuck you up. I'm like, if you got problem, I think they like said something to C Ray, and C Ray's my guy, so I'm like, man. And then Wild Card's like, oh, we got problems, and he picked up a fucking like a bar stool and started throwing that motherfucker, and I'm like, oh, we wildin'. All right.
Yeah,
That's how we do.
gotta love it. Loyalty is funny.
Loyalty is real.
Loyalty is fucking hilarious sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when you come to those cross lines.
Yeah, there was only 4 motherfuckers from Spokane in that bitch, and one was a girl, and one was Wild Card, and the other 2 were me and you. And we're like, oh, okay, well, if we got to get down, we about to get down in this bitch.
I remember being super confused.
Yeah.
Why is everybody yelling?
Yeah,
gotta be
because
real.
I always, no matter what, I always imagine if we're going to a smaller town, things can't be that crazy, and then you're like, oh, they could be crazier.
Hey,
Like, holy shit.
God, we got to get Shaolin back to tell us about the old school East Side Pasco, man. Motherfuckers were gangbanging out there.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
As soon as you go through the tunnel, man.
Yeah.
I could.
They said in the Tri Cities, he said people was gangbanging. And that's, if you tell someone about I guess fools know what Yakima is about now, but like back then, I'm like, motherfuckers is out there shooting each other.
Well, I came from a time, I don't know if this was normal or not, but I came from a time where born and raised in Spokane, right? And I didn't know a whole lot outside of Spokane other than Visalia, California. And then all of a sudden I'm 17 and I go out to this little town called Freedom, Wisconsin, which is like population of like 2,000 people or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden I get introduced to Green Bay and Madison and Milwaukee and all this shit, right? And Oneida, shout out to Oneida and the res.
Word.
But and like I'm learning all these different things. I'm just like, but it always seemed like this understanding of the bigger the city was, the crazier shit had to be, right? It was because, you know, if you said, because I remember I'm sitting in my classroom in Freedom, Wisconsin. They were like, oh, here's TJ. Where are you from? And, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm from Spokane, Washington. Like, oh, what's that like? And I was like, well, it's like 250,000 people. Like, so it's like Madison. And they're like, whoa, city boy. Crazy. Like, oh, he's seen some shit, city boy. And then I go to fucking, you know, Madison. They're like, oh, yeah, it's just like here. Same thing, right, dude? Cool.
Right.
And you go to Milwaukee, you're like, let me show you some shit.
Right.
Oh, Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Shit.
It was based on population.
Let's play the Laverne and Shirl fucking
That's
theme
weird
right
though,
now.
because like down south they have small towns that are just
Yeah,
fucking
well,
shit's
that's what I
going
mean. Like
on.
you kind of like get older and you hear about these things. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter where you're from. It matters like, and then it comes to like neighborhoods. Because
Well,
I told
about Milwaukee?
Hold on, real quick. Let me tell you about Milwaukee because fucking Milwaukee, real quick because
Milwaukee.
I could tell some people, right? I could tell some people.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, I've been in Milwaukee, right? And it's like, oh yeah, the Brewers or the Bucks, right? Like, or beer,
Cuckoo Cal.
whatever. Yeah, cool. I don't even know if anybody remembers who the fuck that is.
Nobody knows who Cuckoo
in
Cal
my
is?
projects.
Cuckoo Cal's the
But-
dopest dude from Milwaukee, ain't he?
But I'll tell you what, I met, and as weird as it is, I met a dude here on the streets in Spokane, and he had a 414 tattooed across his neck. Does anybody know what that is?
No,
Must
probably
be
an area code,
Milwaukee,
right?
It's the area code for Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
And of course, nobody around here would know what that is, and I wouldn't if I didn't live out there for a little bit, right?
Right.
And so I see this dude, and I'm like, "You from Milwaukee?" And he goes, "How the fuck you know that?" And I was like, "I stayed out there for a little while, right?" And he's like, "Where at?" Right? Because now all of a sudden I realize, oh, it's not about you've been to Chicago.
Right.
It's about what part of Chicago, right? Then I tell him where I was at, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he like hand on the hip, like neck cocked back, different kind of respect. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I didn't live there. I hung out there
Yeah.
because I had to. That's where my people were hanging out. Like, but I tell him, I said, "Yeah, we was up on 32nd and Garfield," and he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit!" He says that, right? And it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I realized that it's not about the population; it's about the neighborhood. It's about the environment itself.
Yes.
And then I started respecting different smaller communities. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Because I used to think as a youngster, I was like, it's just a matter about if you were from a big town, big city. And it's
Hey.
like, no, it doesn't. Because
What's the population of Wichita, Kansas? Because I'm telling you, to this day, that's the only place where I was like, "Hey man, these motherfuckers is wilding the fuck out."
Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas. It's let's find out.
I've heard about the Midwest though.
Which
Cracking out that way.
it was just hot and humid, and everyone seemed pissed off, and everyone had a pistol.
Humidity makes people angry, bro.
Yes.
Oh
It
yeah.
does. It's an uncomfortable
No matter what you
environment.
do, you can't get cool.
Yeah. It's like, can you imagine? Like, I remember first time I dealt with real humidity, taking a shower
Oh,
and getting out to leave and
call
feeling
that.
like I was gross. The second I got to the car, like
Yes.
that just puts you in a bad mood already.
389,000. I was close enough. I was in there. I was like, man, this whole hick town. I mean, what Spokane County is about 500,000. Yeah,
That's what they say.
The county's probably closer to 7.
yeah. And I'm in that motherfucker. Everyone's seeing just pissed off, and we're like, yeah, we got to go to Walmart and get some like, I call them white beaters. I don't know what you're supposed to call them now, politically correct and all. I was like, man, I get us some white beaters. We get to go to the Walmart and get some house shoes because we only walked around in house shoes for some fucking reason because it was hot summer. Why didn't we buy fucking chanclas? I don't fucking know.
Chanclas.
So I'm like, hey, man, this Walmart don't have security guards, man. They got armed police at the door. Why are armed police at the door? Oh, because hey, it's kind of got the small town vibe, but the gangsters that gangbang come to Walmart
come
to
to
gangbang
Walmart,
on each other. And I'm like, is this the only one? No, there's other Walmarts here, but don't go to the north side. And I was like, well, we should
That's
probably
where
go.
shit hits, and you say nothing's done for no reason. Something is being done for a reason.
Well, when people told us not to go to that neighborhood, we went to that neighborhood because we had CDs. We're
Because
like,
that's what we do.
they said, yo, this neighborhood's really shitty. Don't go to North Denver. And I'm like, well,
Now I have to go to
Well, we
North
got to go to North Denver because that's where they at. That's where they go buy some CDs. So we get to Walmart North Denver. What the fuck is you motherfuckers doing here? And luckily, we were a pretty diverse bunch. You had
How
me.
do we break that? Do we want to break that? Because
No, we gotta
now
go
that I'm
there.
a father and I'm telling my kids don't do this, and I'm thinking back like that's what made me want to do it. I'm like, am I fucking up now?
Right.
No, we used to-
Everything
Am
you're
I
not
supposed to preach
do.
it a different way?
We used to ask because we go to like Dodge City, Kansas.
Because I tell my son, I'm like, here's the reality of what you might be facing, boy. This is what could happen. Are you ready for it? Like, I have conversation. I didn't have that growing up. I wish I did, but I didn't. It was just, don't do this.
Right.
And I was like, now I got to do that.
Well, we said it mostly to avoid it, but then we're like, so he was like, I was with Smoke, I was with the homie Noe, and I was with Bullet, myself, and like some other people. So we had a Spanish speaking fella, and then Smoke was like, hey, so where the hood at? And I'm like, and he's like, yo, Mike, where's MLK at in Spokane? I was like, fool, we ain't got no fucking MLK.
Finally, we do.
Well, we do now, yeah. Cause Smoke knows he's from Seattle. Cause we were like in Portland. He's like, hey man, we gotta hit MLK and sell some CDs. And I'm like, dog, this is Spokane. We got division that divides the city. MLK divides the big cities, like Division does in Spokane. Yeah. We got MLK way. Ain't nobody gonna buy no CDs on that motherfucker. I don't even see people walking on
There
that.
ain't nobody on MLK.
No, this is the safest MLK on the planet.
Yeah,
Right here.
so people are like, so where's the hood spot? Where do people gather that listen to like hip hop music? Well, he's like, man, it's probably like the north side or this, that, and other thing. But y'all don't want to go there, and we're like,
I have to go there.
I think I kind of want to go there because we're trying to sell some CDs. We ain't trying to talk to you motherfuckers
and
anymore.
this is somebody told me recently. They said, "Hey, watch Lion King. It'll teach you everything you need to know," and that makes sense.
Don't go to the dark shadowy spot.
And he's like, "I have to go there now."
He does.
Like, it kind of makes some sense.
Yeah. Shit.
That's what your parents
Got a
do back in the day. Well, don't cut your hair. You look handsome.
Yeah, and that's why, parenting has been the biggest life lesson for me ever. I'm just like watching my kids, and I'm like, I got to be damn careful with everything I
So
do.
you just
and
probably
say,
shouldn't tell
dude.
them don't do that. Be like, it's up to you, dude.
Well, and then my son wants to listen to the podcast too, and I'm like, hey, I'm your father. This is what I say. I'll never restrict you from it. I don't always want you to hear it, but I'm never going to restrict you from it. You know? Like, would you tell little Mikey you can't listen to the podcast? Or would you be like, go ahead?
I'm not gonna fucking give him links, but if he can find
Yeah.
it, he's smart enough to find
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not
Yo,
going to
here's
say,
the
here
link.
it is.
Check it out.
Check it out. But, like, I'm not going to get mad at him because I'm like, this is who I am.
Like he's dug in my music and like, Dad, can I have this CD? And I'm like, I don't want him listening to my music, but I'm like, you have to have it.
It's,
Well, that's-
it's
yeah.
punishment letting them listen to this other stuff.
Yeah. You right?
He's like, Dad, have you heard this dude Trippy Red? And I'm like, dude, he showed me some shit that I've actually liked before, though.
There's some.
He's like, yo, Dad, peep this Dax dude. And I'm like, God, some more bullshit. And I'm like, oh, he ain't bad. And there was Corday. That Corday dude was pretty dope. But mostly it's pretty miss.
So Trippy Red is still alive.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
When you say don't, it kind of opens up curiosity, unless there's like a visual to support it. Like, don't put your hands in there where the piranhas are. You're like, oh, you see him, it's creepy. But anything without a visual, then that person creates a visual, and they're curious about something now. They're curious about what that solidifying, developing that visual.
Yeah.
How many of you guys put your hand on the stove?
Oh.
I did
I
that
don't
on
think
three.
I ever did that.
You didn't do that?
I don't think so.
I touched it with my finger.
Probably
Oh, yeah.
accidentally.
Don't touch the stove because it'll burn you, but you got to find out yourself that it's going to fuck you up.
Burns suck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't drink.
Bright orange,
It's
man. I
crazy
had to
that you
touch it.
that you brought that up, because I heard something that was really cold blooded recently. Because sometimes people use that as an excuse about, they'll say like when someone's cutting up, they'll say like, well, this person just likes to touch the burner. You know, we know they like to touch the burner. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody about that because this person I know wasn't parenting right, and I saw that, and they were like, yeah, this, and their kid was getting jammed up. This is real deep. Kid's getting jammed up and looking at some time, and then she's like, some people like to touch the burner, and I was talking to somebody about that, and they're like, well, she left the burner on,
Yeah.
and I was like, ooh,
That's huge.
Damn.
yeah,
It's huge.
That's
So-
crazy.
Can I tell you something? Because it all stems back to childhood, right?
Yeah.
Childhood. We look back this table of grown men, and in my eyes, sophisticated, educated men of all different outlooks. Well, we were all once children.
right,
I will forever be blessed because I got the opportunity to work with youth. When I didn't think I was worth shit, at the lowest point of my life, I was given the opportunity to work with youth. and I got a call from somebody saying they were hiring somewhere called Crosswalk in Spokane,
Right.
and I didn't even know what that was. And I went to go turn in a resume, found out it was a youth shelter, and all of a sudden, I'm working with homeless youth.
Right.
And I was like blown away because I'm like, oh my God, these kids is homeless, right? These kids is dealing with things that I remember dealing with. These kids are going through things I remember going through. Connected with them on a cool, whole new level. No judgments, no nothing, just kind of like talking to them, hearing them out. And you just kind of go through these things where you're just like, oh my God, all these different aspects of life. And I couldn't get away from it. Everybody has a unique story.
Right.
No matter what, they have a unique story. And I had a real connection that was going to link to something we were talking about before Mike left, and I can't remember what it was anymore. I'm kind of upset. What were we talking about before he left?
I don't know, but we're the party champions because the neighbors are not outside anymore.
Yeah, last time I took a piss, they seemed like they were wrapping up. But real quick,
partying
real
way
quick,
too late.
sidestep. Shout out to my neighbors. I wish I remembered their names. But
AJ.
AJ, yeah.
AJ's
I remember
the guy.
AJ was one because my name's TJ and he was real cool. Because they showed some respect. That's dope. Like, that makes me happy. I remember when they were moving in and we are kind of a little butthurt because we had the neighbors over there the same age as us for a long time. And we're like, God, who are we going to get over there now? Who are we going to get? And then,
off my damn
luckily, we got
lawn.
some good ones. This is the first night that we remember them having like a get together. And we're like, oh. And actually, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't know why I'm trying to sound like an old geezer. Like, no, it didn't bother me at all. I was like, hell yeah, you get it. You get it, y'all.
That's where I thought you guys were. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's the
Hey,
squad.
so
They got
what song did they have? What they had a song.
They were playing some Garth Brooks or some shit.
Nah.
What?
TJ mentioned something. He said my neighbors tried to play a song off.
Oh, that was across the street.
Oh,
Yeah, they weren't these ones. They were across the street.
I like Chris Gaines.
So I went outside to have a cigarette, and I do that actually very rarely now. But I go outside to have a cigarette on my front porch, and all of a sudden I'm hearing yelling, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And all of a sudden I realized that my neighbors across the street, and their windows open, and I could hear them talking, and I hear them go, "Hey Google, play Stacy's Mom Has Got It Going On." And I was like, I like you motherfuckers now.
that video's wild.
Yeah.
That video's wild.
Oh, the hell yeah. I don't know. Should we wrap up, bro?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Been here a long time.
Let's do some final shout outs. Shout out to fucking Katie Kane.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're getting the fucking video feed up to YouTube.
be there
Thanks to Katie Kane. All you motherfuckers that wanted this shit on video, thanks to Katie Kane.
Shouts out.
Getting it done.
And that silly iRig.
Shout out to everybody out there who's trying to make this world a better place. I'm not gonna pick a side because I don't believe in sides. Shout out to, is it Boo Champs or
Beauchamp and
Bo
Chase.
Champs?
Champ and Chase.
And if you want
This
to get,
soap
if you wanna
Google
get,
them.
is amazing.
Beauchamp, if you want.
Actually, I'm just gonna Genesis.
Get a bar.
Yeah,
Get a
shout
bar.
out your own spots.
Hey, no, I appreciate it. No, shout out Beauchamp and Chase. You know, I appreciate all the supporters, all the people who are yet to support and get behind the bar. We're out here selling soap, not dope, getting it in. Thank you
Hell yeah.
for having me.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, since we're shouting out, I think I hit everybody earlier. Let's get it in 2021, everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out Parker family, Randy. That's it. I think I hit everybody, man. Delavici, Cuzzo, C-Flow, Z-Chase, Insiders, Ones and O's, Trillion, Cad, all of us, man. The whole crew, man. You know what it is, man.
What do we have to look forward
Yo,
to? Anything?
Yo. Oh,
Uh
hold on.
oh.
He said Cad. How's Cad?
Cad is doing his thing, man. He's building. Yeah.
Real quick, so you can catch Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit Crew on One Big P and True Justice. We're gonna be on the Social Hour with Dees Casillas. In what, 2 weeks? I don't know.
Monday the 13th or something like that.
On Martin Luther King Day.
18th.
I think it's the 18th. Yeah.
Shout out to DC Jesus.
I don't think they released the same day. Yeah, shout out to DC.
Shout out to DC Jesus in Genesis's basement. We recorded a song on one of Cad's beats with DCG in Genesis' basement.
I'm gonna
years
do
ago.
I'm gonna do a random plug actually, and shout out to the females that are doing the Plus One podcast because I've been listening to it. What are their names? Sarah and
Oh God, Audrey, I think.
they call her Fucky.
Fucky.
They call her
Adriana, the,
Fucky.
Plus One podcast.
Yeah.
They're
I'm gonna
funny.
shout them out because I'm on episode
Shouts out
3
to
right
Plus
now.
One.
I'm enjoying it, and I love to do some random shout outs. So
And they finna get on, and they want to get us on as well.
yeah, we're gonna do a collab soon. All right, Katie Ken, you got anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to Beers Box Bullshit Podcast. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Bo Champs and Chase.
And Concerned Dabs
Yeah,
podcast.
Concerned Dads Podcast. We got a new episode with Randy Stewart, the owner of 526 Beauty Products, this Sunday night at 8 p.m.
Shout out Download.
Hell yeah.
7 hours in this chair.
Yeah, well, can I tell you something? Can I tell you? Downloaded 7.5 hours in the chair, and then I came on Inside the Hype on his show for 2 hours, and we still felt like we had more to talk about.
Oh my Lord.
All right, y'all. That's it.
Yo.
Beers, bongs, and bullshit. We'll be back next week. See y'all then.
Bye.
We're out.
Fuck me.
We're still on video.
I'm tired and hungry as fuck.
Yo, I ain't never been hot before. I ain't never been hot.
It's
in
almost 60 degrees, bro.
Oh, shit.
Hey, as soon as we closed that door, it started climbing
you guys-
a degree like every
So,
10 or
If
15
you want to
minutes.
place an
Yeah.
order, do that. But I want to give you each a bar.
Oh, hell yeah.
So however you want to do that.
Hey, well, let Mike.